After looking at a ton of custom movesets, I've noticed that some have the potential to look great, but the common problem is always visuals, which can be the difference between a good and a bad moveset. So I'll be giving out a bunch of tips to help you guys improve. Starting with opacities, I've seen so many movesets just completely mess this up. So here's a list of things you can go right ahead and change. With the wind visuals like wind expand and wind ring, unless it's absolutely necessary, you never want the opacity to be lower than 0.7, with an alt opacity being 1. Reason being, the wind visuals are supposed to be like an emphasis to an impact. If I make a punching move and add a wind expand with 0 opacity, it looks way too out of place. There's just too much going on. One more reason being is that it's wind. Wind isn't supposed to be visible. When's the last time you've seen wind? A wind visual with 0.85 opacity or something in close proximity can just help so much to add feel to your moves, but you have to make sure you don't do too much with it. Next, with auras and glows, I cannot stress this enough. If you add visuals and your character isn't visible, I'm sorry mate, but delete that whole move. Visuals like flame, circle glow, and glow can help me explain this perfectly. Flame with a size of 2 can be a nice foggy effect, but with a low opacity, just completely covers your avatar and leaves a trail behind too. Raise that opacity now. Circle glow adds way too much light to your avatar if the opacity is low enough. There are some visuals that are meant to be big and powerful, while others should be subtle, and circle glow has maybe one reason out there to have a low opacity, but anything above 0.6 is fine. Lower, and glow. Dude, if you set this below 0.5 you look like a highlighter, change that now. Right, impact visuals. This really only applies to meshes and things like clash, but again, if the visual just completely blocks someone out of view or is just a solid color, it has to change. Let me put this into a scenario for you. Imagine you're shading a drawing and what should be subtle shadows just is straight Vanta black. You gotta think of visuals like seasoning on a food or shading in a drawing. The thing that should pull in the most attention should be the move's functionality and animation. In other examples, the meat of a dish, the clothes of an outfit, the drawing itself. Visuals should complement the move, not be the thing that you can't help but notice because it's just way too out of place. Like too much salt, a bad balance in shading, or just big bulky accessories. So in quick summary, you want to make sure that the visuals don't cover yours or the enemy's avatar, they aren't solid colors, and you find a good enough balance to the point where the VFX don't take away from the main focus of the move. I promise you, if you follow these, your stuff will look way better. My next point is time, referring to how long your visuals should last. Now I do see this go right and wrong a lot, but if done wrong, it can just leave whoever sees the move feeling like it could have been done better. So let's play a game, shall we? Welcome to the first installation of Guara's Game Night with 3 questions here for you today, going from easy to medium to actually medium again because I couldn't think of a hard question. I hope you're all excited because going into question 1, we have: how long should a basic impact visual last? A, 0.25 to 0.75, or B, 0.76 to 1 or more. If you chose option A, then you're correct. Reason being, unless it's this kind of flashy move with camera work and a freeze frame, like Nanami's 4th ratio breaker, I promise you, an impact has no business being that long. For question 2, we have: when going onto a new stage of a move, an example being a kick, then a charged up punch, should my visuals from stage 1 last until after stage 2 begins? A, no. B, a little won't hurt. Or C, you're telling me they should end? Now it is slightly dependent on the scenario, so I'll say both A and B are correct. Reason being, it's supposed to be a separate segment of the move, so visuals can last, but they have to be near ending, otherwise you're breaching into option C, the only wrong answer. Now for the last question we've got: For the field of view visual regarding a basic punch with the intent to zoom out, should it A. be a quick zoom out, B. slowly zoom out lasting before and after the punch, or C. zoom out before the punch very quickly so there's a short awkward pause in between the FOV change and the actual hit? If anyone picked C, I will slime you out with immediate effect. A is correct. It adds feel to the punch, especially if it follows up with more hits afterwards. B makes it feel kinda weird not emphasizing the punch when you use FOV. And C, another tip for you guys is just kind of tone down sometimes on the visuals. Do not get me wrong, visual heavy moves can be so cool. But I mean the bulky visuals like stacking cursed energy with small clashes, stars, shines, beams, bursts, weak lightnings, all of those just on like one fist. That's too much, brother. Too much visuals just look bad. If you find a good balance, then that can improve your move. Like if too much happens at once, it will make whoever uses the moveset want to gouge their eyes out. But if you mess with the times, the amounts, the opacities, all of those things can then turn out good. Something that I also need you guys to do is use a range of visuals in your move. It's fine if you try to add more, but it just doesn't look good, so you have to change it or remove something, whatever. But for example, if I have a Kashmir moveset and I just want a surge of lightning, I shouldn't only use weak lightnings for that move. As you can see in this example on the left, things just look boring, look cluttered, look messy, look lame. But the one on the right has clashes, rings, wind expands, spheres, all of those. And you can see those two don't compete with each other. Another example, with Gojo's Lapse Blue, or for any of Gojo's colourful bollocks, if you add like clashes and stars for a center point and the wind slashes around it for that energy effect, and a circle glow for light emitting from it, or even bursts, but just not as many as the example here, we can all agree this is bonds, right? But what I'm trying to say is that for your move to look great, you shouldn't rely on just one visual, as 10 times out of 10, there's something more you can add or change for it to look better. And the last tip I have is something just to do throughout all of skill building. This doesn't specifically apply to visuals, and that is just to experiment with what can work. Do not be scared to change something. Looking back at the visuals for some of my early movesets, dude, the colors were so off. It looked just boring, soulless, or just too much. But by mixing things up, taking things away, adding in things, adding unique VFX I didn't think would work, ended up making it so much cooler. I couldn't recommend experimenting more.